teaching to someone who never existed, sitting with an invisible driver, or being dragged by an unseen force. There is much more than meets the eye. And today's video is all about such terrifying encounters and real-life horror stories. So hold your heart for a haunting video that starts with a lady who thinks her hand is a mirror. A strange video made the rounds online recently, and it's got people questioning reality. It shows a woman on the subway casually applying lipstick. Nothing weird, until you realize there's no mirror. Her hand's just floating midair, but she's putting it on perfectly. Some say it's just the camera angle. Others speculate it's a glitch in the Matrix. And then there are those who think she's got abilities we don't understand. Sure, it could be staged, but if it's not, maybe we've been looking at the world all wrong. This one had the internet split right down the middle. A recent video showed a woman alone in her kitchen until something yanked her hair so hard she fell to the ground. No one else was there. The clip had people spiraling into ghost theories, especially after a commenter claiming to know her said her mother-in-law had passed away just weeks earlier. Now, whether that's true or not, the timing definitely added fuel to the fire. Believers were convinced it was something paranormal. Skeptics brushed it off as a prank or a clever trick with wires or editing. No official probe was launched, but the video kept racking up views. Its mystery is still very much unsolved. A roadside surveillance camera recorded something truly bizarre, leaving people questioning the reality we live in. A man was seen running across the crosswalk. Watch what happened. Midway through the street, he was lifted in the air and thrown back to the ground. He then got up and made his way back to where he came from. A passing woman stopped, clearly shocked at what she saw. When the video hit the internet, theories started pouring in. Some believed that it was a glitch in the Matrix, while others said the guy's strange behavior made it look like he was up to something. Testing his superpower, maybe? But the clip remains mysterious as ever. A family was experiencing strange activity in their house when one day they managed to catch it on camera. The chilling video features a mother and son discussing something as the box the boy was fiddling with was thrown to the ground by an invisible force. Scared, the child pointed towards the wall, but there was no one there. But when the mother threw a cloth in that direction, it landed on an invisible humanoid, outlining its small build. People are going crazy with all kinds of speculation, with many convinced it was a paranormal entity, even a ghost. Phantom piano.
Vin, you heard that?
I fucking heard that.
A few friends rented an Airbnb deep in the mountains. You know where this is going. The place had that off-putting vibe, as if there was someone else besides them. One guy stayed behind while the rest made a grocery run. That's when he heard piano playing music.
Fucking heard it.
Assuming it was one of his friends, he went to check, but the room was empty. Nobody believed him at first, but it happened again. So camera in hand, he recorded everything. He walked in, and then a single key was pressed down all by itself, sending the guy scrambling back. The fact that the camera clearly caught the key being pressed down adds a layer of authenticity to the whole story.
Oh, shit!
Invisible student. Take a look at this footage and tell me it's not creepy. It shows a teacher alone in a classroom late at night, maybe rehearsing for the next day. But then he starts talking, nodding, gesturing. According to the post, he thought a parent had come to ask about their child. He answered questions, even pointed out class schedules. Totally calm, totally normal. Except there's no one there. CCTV shows nothing at the door, just the teacher chatting into thin air. And then, the strangest part, he suddenly walks toward another room, like he's following someone, but the hallway was empty. So, who did he see? No driver. Last year, a jaw-dropping video from Islamabad, Pakistan, left everyone completely stunned. Two friends driving down a deserted road in the dead of night noticed another car cruising right alongside them. Sounds normal, right? Except for one chilling detail. There was no one in the driver's seat. The only person in the car was a man casually sitting in the passenger seat, eyes glued to his phone. The friends claimed the passenger was talking to someone, or something, in the driver's seat, and his eyes seemed red at times, leading them to believe he wasn't exactly human. Even when the friends called out to him, the man didn't react, just stayed focused on his phone, as if he couldn't hear them at all. Walking balloon.
Quiet!
This one's straight out of a fever dream. A balloon. Yep, just an Elmo-shaped balloon, climbing stairs. Not floating, not bouncing, but climbing. It's caught on camera, and trust me, it looks like the thing is actually walking. You can even hear a dog in the background barking its head off, like it knows something's off.
Gabe.
The balloon lifts one leg after another, stepping up like it has somewhere to be. Netizens were creeped out. Some said it had to be possessed. Others thought maybe it was something darker, but a few skeptics weren't buying it. They suggested the whole thing was filmed in reverse, with the balloon actually sliding down the stairs. Still, once you see it, it's hard to unsee. Bus witch. This clip looks like a scene straight out of The Walking Dead, but nope, it's real. A woman casually sitting on a bus with her feet up. Nothing weird about that, until you see the feet. Gnarly black claws instead of toenails, skin gray and cracked like it belonged to something not alive or undead. People online completely lost it. Some were convinced she was a witch in disguise. Others thought it was a werewolf mid-transformation, caught slipping in public. Of course, there were a few practical guesses, like a severe skin condition, but even then, it's hard to explain those claws. So, what do you think? Creature? Curse? Or just a case of really bad pedicure neglect? Invisible Stalker. This eerie CCTV footage from a store has left people seriously creeped out. A man's just doing his groceries, when suddenly he stops, look up, at nothing. Then things get strange. He starts spinning, like he's following something circling above him, but there's nothing there, at least not that we can see. And then, without warning, he fell down. Theories are pouring in. Some say he saw the Grim Reaper. Others believe he was being tormented by shadow people, those dark figures said to haunt the edges of human vision. However, skeptics believe it's just a hoax. Throne chairs. At first, it's just a normal office scene. Two men talking, nothing odd. But then, the chairs in front of the desk shift slightly. No one touches them. The men notice, freeze for a beat, then shake it off. But seconds later, both chairs violently launch into the door, like something unseen hurled them. That's when panic kicks in. One bolts through the front, the other flees into the dark. Some netizens say it's a hoax, just decent acting and strings. And others aren't so sure. If chairs flew across a room right in front of you, would you stick around to find out what's next? Desert Whisperer. A video posted in April 2025 had everyone doing a double take. A man just casually riding his bike through a quiet stretch of desert when nature itself seemed to respond. Birds started circling above him, tight, synchronized loops like some kind of aerial formation. Then came the strays, dogs, cats, all trailing behind him in silence. No barking, no chaos, just following. He wasn't seen calling out to them, and didn't even look back. Yet they moved like they knew him, like he was leading some kind of desert parade. Could this have been a coincidence? A fluke of timing? Or was there something about this man that animals simply trusted without question? Vanishing cyclist. This guy may have just caught something unexplainable. The video started simple enough. A cyclist rode ahead of a car on a narrow bridge. Then, the camera panned to the side, showing rails and rushing water below. When it returned to the front, the cyclist was gone, without a trace. Now here's the weird part. There was nowhere to go. The bridge was too tight for a clean exit, and swerving in front of a moving car? Not exactly smart. Some say it's just a perspective trick, or maybe the biker dipped out of frame. But others were convinced something else happened. A glitch? An abduction? A moment where reality hiccuped? Whatever it was, the internet's still scratching its head. You buying the illusion theory? Or does this feel like something stranger? Classroom reflection.
I mean, is that not a kid sitting right there?
A teacher was staying late, decorating his classroom after hours, something he often did. He'd gotten used to the haunted vibe of the school, hearing creaks and whispers echoing through the halls, chalking it up to an old building. But that night was different. While reaching up to adjust the decoration, he glanced at the black screen of the TV and froze. In the reflection, clear as day, was a small child sitting at a desk. But when he turned around, there was no one there. He looked back at the screen and the figure was still there, making him flee the classroom. Could it have been the ghost of a child? Or something even more sinister? Let me know your take on this. Stuck midair. This one's straight out of a video game glitch. A strange clip hit social media showing two dogs literally floating midair, as if they were standing on nothing. Another dog on the ground seemed just as confused. It kept tugging at them like it was trying to rescue its friends, and after a few tries, it worked. The floating dog suddenly dropped back to the ground. Now people were quick to throw in theories. Some claimed this was a real-life glitch in the Matrix. Others said it was more grounded. Maybe they were hanging from tie-out cables, or one of them had jumped a fence and got stuck. But the real skeptics say the shadows look off, like it was edited. Whatever the case, the clips got everyone doing double takes. Phantom Force. A security camera clip has been making waves online, and it's not your average home footage. In it, a chair suddenly flies across the porch like it's been shoved hard. People were quick to chime in, blaming strong winds since the blinds in the background were moving, and you could hear gusts on the mic. But then the original poster dropped a twist. Turns out the window was shut. The blinds were just dancing from a ceiling fan. Oh, and the trees outside were barely moving. That kind of force is not easy to explain. The poster even admitted they've never believed in ghosts until now. Maybe it was just physics playing tricks, or maybe something else decided to pull up a chair. Walmart floater. A viral clip from Walmart showed a shopper levitating, floating midair like he was doing a Superman glide, while casually pushing his cart. People nearby just froze, unsure if they were witnessing a magic trick or losing their minds. People online were quick to dissect the footage. Some guessed he had a steel rod hidden under his pants. Others figured the cart was loaded with something super heavy, balancing his weight and pulling off the illusion. But no one's been able to explain it for sure. No wires spotted. So was it a clever trick, or just another glitch in the reality aisle? Let me know your take on this. Night shift visitor. You gotta respect night shift security guards. Alone in giant buildings, weird sounds echoing. I'd want any company. But what if that company wasn't exactly human? That's what happened here. CCTV footage shows a guard doing his duty, totally normal, until he suddenly turns around in his chair, starts chatting, and gesturing like someone had just walked up. The only problem is, there's no one there. He even pulls out a chair like he's inviting the person to sit, then keeps talking to thin air. Next day, he casually asks the staff why no one told him about the new guy he met last night. I mean, if that was me, I'd be quitting on the spot. The final repair.
Juan, no estás con nadie. Sube y ven a ver las cámaras. Tengo todo grabado.
The shop owner was just casually checking his CCTV feed until he saw something that gave him chills. Juan, the head mechanic, was deep in conversation with someone. But here's the thing, he was completely alone. When the owner asked Juan who he had been talking to, Juan calmly replied it was a man named Don Carlos, who was there about his car. Said he had an accident last night. Only, there was no Don Carlos. Netizens were quick to piece it together. Maybe Don Carlos didn't survive that crash. Maybe he had no idea he had passed away. And maybe he just wanted his car fixed. Juan insists the man was real. But after that, no one wants to stay in that workshop alone.
De verdad que no cacho qué onda.
Gitch Man. Locals couldn't believe what they were seeing. A man standing in the middle of the street, frozen mid-step. One leg forward, one behind, like he was walking, but just stuck. He didn't sway, didn't blink, didn't even flinch when people walked by. It was like someone had hit pause on his body. Naturally, someone pulled out their phone, and the video took off. Some say it was a stunt, or a muscle disorder. Others are calling it a glitch in the Matrix, a tiny hiccup in our so-called reality. Because if people can freeze like that out of nowhere, who's really pressing play? Bag Witch. A man was just going about his day when he saw an old woman on the sidewalk, bent over, her bag a few feet away. Naturally, he went to help, but before he could get there, she lifted her hand, and the bag slid across the ground on its own, straight back to her. It wasn't even windy. He stood frozen, unsure if he'd just seen a trick or something supernatural. Some say she's got powers. Others think she wasn't even human. A ghost? A guardian? Or something else entirely. Whatever she was, she didn't need help. Invisible Patient. Either this guy took the whole imaginary friends thing too seriously, or he can actually see ghosts. A hospital security camera captured an unsettling activity as the automatic doors slid open to welcome someone or something we can't see. Instead of being puzzled, the security guard got his clipboard to register the invisible guest, and even appeared to be talking, then got a wheelchair, proceeding to take his imaginary friend inside. Many believe the clip was authentic, claiming hospitals are filled with restless spirits. Others, however, think it was elaborately staged. Midnight Swinger. It's 3 a.m. The park's empty, except for one swing. And on it, a figure going so high they loop over the top bar. Not once, not twice, over and over again. Like gravity doesn't apply. The person filming stays back, which, smart move, because who's out there pulling stunts like that at this hour? Some say it's just a daredevil with insane core strength. Others think it's something paranormal, or worse, not human at all. Whatever it is, it's not the kind of thing you can't unsee. Glitchy Turnstyle. At first glance, it's just a guy awkwardly fumbling through a turnstile, but slow it down, and things get weird. The bar seems to pass through his leg, cleanly, smoothly, like he's not entirely solid. He laughs, keeps going, but somehow ends up behind the bar again, as if reality hit rewind on just him. Zoomed in. It gets even stranger. Was it just a trick of perspective? Maybe the bar lifted slightly? Or did we just witness a glitch? Like the man's body briefly forgot the rules of matter. Some speculated that the man was actually a hologram. Others thought it was a digital hiccup in the Matrix. What's your theory? Optical illusion, or something way stranger? Haunted playtime.
Nothing really around it. It's been doing it for about 5 minutes or so.
No parent wants to see something eerie happen around their child, but that's exactly what this dad claims he caught on camera. His toddler's playing on the floor, surrounded by toys. Nothing unusual there, except one toy won't stop moving. For 5 minutes, it keeps spinning in a slow, deliberate circle. People have all kinds of theories. Some believed it was just a motorized toy doing what it's designed to do, but others pointed out the strange timing and the way the dad swore it never acted like that before.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see that, but that thing just keeps moving completely by itself.
So is this just a battery-powered prank, or did this toddler just have a play date with something unseen? Let me know your take on this.
That thing's just doing its own thing there. Kinda creepy.
Pope glitch.
As his hand comes together, a set of fingers come over like he's got a third hand.
This one shook people up badly. In late April 2025, a strange clip of Pope Francis started making the rounds. And it's not the message that caught attention, but his hands. For a brief moment, the Pope appears to have 3, and in another moment, his fingers seem to merge. Some called it a camera glitch. Others said it looked more like a rendering error, like the video was digitally altered. Then came the wild theories. Some claimed the real Pope hadn't made a public appearance for months, and this was all AI. To keep things looking normal until Easter, even the most grounded netizens admitted the footage felt off. Whether it's tech tricks, a look-alike, or something deeper, this clip has people wondering what's real anymore.
These are AI. 100% that's AI. And that's AI.
Hidden form.
Bitte nicht drauf rein. Wenn ihr wissen wollt.
This one's straight out of a sci-fi horror flick. During a live performance, German comedian Carolyn Kebekis was doing her usual routine until something off happened on stage. People spotted it right away. Her eyes morphing, flickering, like they were struggling to hold shape. It wasn't a glitch. It wasn't lighting. It was caught live. What's weirder? The version uploaded later to her channel had that exact moment edited out, but a few lucky audiences had already saved the original footage, and what they captured looked eerie. Some are convinced it was a shapeshifter dropping its mask. Others say it looked more like a spirit possession that didn't quite stick.
Leute, fallt da bitte nicht drauf rein.
Vanishing walker. Here's something that'll mess with your head. A bizarre activity was captured by a security camera in a silent late-night street. A person was walking down the road. Nothing weird, right? But then, dogs nearby go wild, barking like they're seeing something no one else can. And then it gets creepy, fast. The figure starts to fade. Not like walking away into the shadows, but actually fading out, right there in the middle of the road. And then it's gone. People were stunned. Some said it had to be a glitch, but others weren't so sure. Many believe animals can sense what we can't. Spirits, energy, the in-between. So, did this camera catch a restless ghost still wandering long after their time was up? Zombie woman.
Hi. Oh my god, see how they go.
The zombie apocalypse might not be just fiction anymore. At least that's what some people are thinking after clips like this started making the rounds. A girl and her friend were parked outside a fast food joint, waiting on their order, when out of nowhere, a pale-faced woman with pitch-black eyes appeared. No expression, just slowly trying to open the car door. Now sure, it's just a woman, but something about her didn't feel human. When the video went viral, the internet lost it. People started sharing eerily similar encounters. Same woman, same face, trying to break into homes. No one knows who she is or what she wants, but if she's real, we've got bigger problems than cold fries.
Guy, oh my god, oh my god! Oh my god!
Witchy business. Scotland's got a long, dark history with witches, and judging by this clip, maybe that history isn't quite over. Dressed in a red skirt and black top, hair loose and wild, a woman was seen standing alone in the middle of nowhere, making strange, slow movements, almost like she was summoning something or someone. The video has people wondering, was this a real-life witch caught on camera? Because if she wasn't, what was she doing out there, all alone, moving like that? Just a performance, or something much older and darker? Seventh loop. A bizarre moment on a flight in China had passengers, and later, the internet, completely stunned. Midair, a man suddenly jolted awake, sweating, panicked, and claimed something wild. He said he was stuck in a time loop, and that this was cycle number 7 in every loop before. He insisted the plane had crashed. He begged the crew to land immediately, screaming for the doors to be opened. Other passengers started filming as chaos brewed. Experts later said it might have been a case of trauma replay, maybe a past near-crash memory resurfacing on loop. But that doesn't explain why he seemed to know which cycle he was in. Was it just a psychological break, or something far stranger? Not real.
That mother back there is not real!
A video recorded on a plane went viral, and it's easy to see why. A lady was seen freaking out, claiming that the person sitting next to her wasn't real. The clip quickly caught fire online, with netizens coming up with all kinds of wild theories. Some suggested it was a reptilian human caught mid-transformation, while others thought the woman might just be seeing things. Later on, in an interview, she explained that someone had stolen her AirPods, which caused her to panic. But, of course, many weren't buying that explanation, and instead speculated that she had been silenced on purpose.
It was a figure of speech, like, he's not being real.
Store haunting. Here's another chilling clip that made the rounds recently. A guy was just out getting his groceries. Nothing unusual, but the real story was what happened behind his back. A box seemed to float right off the shelf, no one near it, then drop to the floor like something had knocked it midair. There was no one else in the aisle. People quickly jumped to ghost theories, saying the store might be haunted by something that didn't want to be disturbed. Skeptics called it a hoax, as usual. But here's the thing, it was all caught on CCTV and filmed as it happened by a store employee. Kinda hard to stage something like that in real time. Haunted wheelchair. In May 2022, a hospital in Thailand found itself at the center of a spine-chilling mystery. Late one night, CCTV footage caught a wheelchair rolling on its own toward the hospital's entrance. At first, it looked like the wind might be the culprit, but when the chair made a sharp turn, that theory flew right out the window. The eerie movement had everyone baffled, from hospital staff to folks online. While skeptics suggested it might be a cleverly staged hoax, even the hospital management admitted they were just as confused as anyone else. Some locals now believe it's the spirit of a former patient trying to make its presence known, adding to the hospital's growing supernatural reputation. No biker. This one looks like it's straight out of a horror movie. Back in November 2019, a spooky clip from Singapore popped up showing what people started calling the ghost bike. In the dead of night, this bike was seen cruising down the street with no one on it. The driver who recorded it didn't even realize at first, but as he got closer, things got even weirder. The bike seemed to steer itself like it was showing off some serious skills. Honestly, it's hard not to get chills watching this. At first, I thought it might have been a prank or a trick, but after playing it back a bunch of times, it really looks like something supernatural is going on. In Trance.
That's actually really concerning.
Creepy. I don't know what's going on.
It's not every day that you look out the window and see something this bizarre, so these people quickly started recording it. A woman standing beside a car was behaving very strangely, standing with her legs crossed. As they kept watching, the woman didn't move at all, stuck in the same position. It became so creepy that people around her stopped with a lady even approaching her. But as she drew near, the woman snapped out of her trance and walked off as if nothing had happened. Only two things come to mind. Either her mind handler was out for a snooze, or she had some medical condition that caused such seizures.
What?
Floating kid. A man was out walking his dog, just filming casually, when his camera picked up something wild. A little girl, floating in midair, above her mom's head, not hanging from anything, just suspended. And when the mother noticed the man recording, she didn't wave or explain. She grabbed the kid and bolted into the woods. Yeah, totally normal behavior. People online went nuts. Some swore it had to be a witch teaching her child to fly. Others joked we might actually be surrounded by superhumans, and we're just the clueless background characters. Whatever it wasn't your typical day at the park. Invisible employee. A welder was focused on his work at a building site. Nothing out of the ordinary until a security guard reviewing CCTV noticed something strange. The welder suddenly appeared to be deep in conversation, laughing, gesturing, and even reaching out to shake someone's hand. But on the footage, there was no one there. When called in to explain, the worker looked genuinely confused, claiming he had been talking to a colleague. The staff was shocked because the colleague he was talking about had recently passed away, leaving everyone chilled. So then who, or what was the welder talking to? Thank you very much for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.